Hey, so what's going on everyone, and welcome back to another video. And in this video, it's just going to be a really short video. It's not really a short video, I'm just speaking for a tiny bit. Then I'm going to show like a preview that I done for Rick and Morty. So that's back today. If you're in the UK, it's going to be back basically they've done this. So if you're new to my channel, you can consider subscribing, turning on post notifications. You can leave a like, you can request what you want to see for the next Comic-Con video. That's been pretty much it for all the talking bits. So I'm just going to play the clip of the like preview for Rick and Morty with Dan, Harmon and Justin Roiland. So I'll see you in the next video, and goodbye.
So this is Comic-Con week. Any surprises you can tease for what you guys are doing at Comic-Con, and any news that people not attending should be looking out for?
I know that we're going to be showing a cool clip at our panel that I think people are going to really get a kick out of.
We have a lot. I mean, it's a very frequent conversation to have in the Rick and Morty room. A very, very frequent thing that happens is someone saying something crazy, maybe even as what's called a room bit, like, which is typically an unusable kind of thing. But then, you know, as they're finishing it, everyone going, yeah, why not? And I think that's a very healthy room to be in. I know that, like, I can't remember what the origin of Pickle Rick was, but
I think it was something like that.
It was basically like, I mean, that was probably the peak of season 3 of our health, our kind of yes and, because someone said he turns himself into a pickle, and instead of any energy being put into why that wouldn't work, you know, I just remember at a certain point I got really excited about it as a kind of, like, you know, the episode of Breaking Bad where they're stuck in the RV, and the opportunities that those sort of, not only bottle episodes, but I mean, this isn't anything but a bottle episode, the Pickle Rick thing, but that RV episode of Breaking Bad, it gets very granular about the inside workings of Walter White's mind, and so we got excited about Rick turning himself into a pickle for that reason. Yeah. But what was your?
Well, I mean, like something that was, I don't know if this was so much like, you know, no, come on, but seriously kind of a thing, but the bored girlfriend was something that we were trying to break in season 1, the Unity episode, but it wasn't anywhere near what we ultimately ended up doing in season 2. But that's an example of an idea that we had at least the seed of, you know, the idea of Rick dating this hive-minded, you know, entity in season 1, and couldn't quite crack it. I think you were on Harmontown tour, and I remember Ridley and I were trying to, like, figure that thing out, and then it just wasn't quite where it needed to be. But in any case, it came back in season 2. We brought it. We were like, well, what about that? Could we actually do that properly? And then I don't know. I think the only other one I can think of is the Lighthouse Keeper, more akin to the, you know, what you're describing, which is like the, you know, we're laughing, we're crying, but we're like, okay, no, but seriously, we can't have a second act where they go and sit listening to an old man in a lighthouse read a screenplay. Like, come on, we gotta, like, let's really fucking figure out the second act here. And then, like, we just kept on going back to the lighthouse. Like, we would talk for like 10 minutes about other ways it could go, and then it would just continue to circle back around to the Lighthouse Keeper, and for no other reason than it was just fun. And we were just laughing.
It could be poignant too. It could be like a right what you know thing, because when you think about purge mythologies, you think, well, this is about the savagery of society and the hypocrisy of the pretense of law and order and things. And then one thing that never visited in those purge movies or in any kind of purge type sci-fi episode is the fact that some of the loftiest, high-mindedest nerds, the people that would hide from the purge and just stay under their bed and lament society's savagery, might be the first people who would just go off about a Wonder Woman movie or something that didn't, like, fit their definition of their pop culture religion. And Morty ends up pushing a guy down the stairs because his screenplay is so horrible, and he can get away with it because he's purging. And Rick starts praising him, and Morty's like, no, that's not what I was doing.
Talk about a little about your favorite guest stars for this season.
Oh, that's a good question. We've got some pretty amazing people. Thomas Middleditch is going to be featured in an episode this season. Susan Sarandon. Who else? We got Danny Trejo. We got Peter Serafinowicz.
Christian Slater. For you community fans, and actually for fans of just great, wonderful people, Joel McHale is in an episode, and Gillian Jacobs is in another episode.
Yeah, and I guarantee we're forgetting
Keith David reprises his role as the GD president of the MFing United States. which is is probably going to confuse people. That's how I never considered Keith's character an analog for Obama. I don't see the world through that lens. Literally it was just the trope of the strong president that you see in movies. But it surely will be like people will be like, wait, was he supposed to be Obama, or did you think?
Did we ever say his actual name? It's just Mr. President, I think.
Yeah, I don't think
we never say his name. Yeah, he's fantastic.
I love that character. For you Doctor Who fans, it's like the lieutenant that would invite the Tom Baker Doctor Who occasionally to just like. It's like I love that role in the Sci-Fi Wanderer series of the local terrestrial government official who needs help sometimes and kind of bogs you down and like fighting the Loch Ness monster or something.